No, it's definitely working though. Okay. Will it show up on my channel so that I can get a link? Ever? Is that a possibility in this universe? There we go. Holy, how does it take that long? Nope, I got to refresh the cache. Now it should be visible, yes. Now we clear messages. Close that. Keep that link copied. I will choose not to link it in all the places today. I'm late. Not that there's a schedule. And I'm not so confident I'm gonna do much better than yesterday. But I'll try. Welcome, Val. Really? Is that... I didn't know that's how the mechanic worked. Well, I knew that's when you like first join a stream. Did that like resets after some time? Oh, that's good water. Okay. I'm actually going to listen to the vanilla track. Let's keep it max pure. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. I'm sorry if the Twitch stream sucks. It is better quality on YouTube. I don't want to stream with downscaled resolution. Luckily it's not 1440p 60. But I only have so much bitrate to work with on Twitch. But the main reason I'm saying anything is because yesterday Twitch couldn't even handle it, and I had to end the Twitch side to regain stability of connection. I needed to, there was an obvious gap to go to that I didn't. I need to like keep my eyes open. Once again, same concept as yesterday. I just see one possibility and know immediately it's not doable. Or maybe it's like close, barely. And just ignore better options. And by possible, I mean like one possibility of where to go. the hesitation. So far not going better. I will turn the volume down by 1 tick. I brought it up. Doesn't... apparently I don't need to. Thanks, Neon. I could have went down right. Okay, I have way too strong of a habit of just holding right. A lot of the time you can make it. Not every time. I cannot assume that I can. I'm starting to just do habitual things without thinking. Which is what I was stuck in yesterday. No timer on this. Whatever. It's just a late. Whoop. I stopped recording by accident. And this run. It was. I messed up in the beginning. With the timer and recording. Thank you, Luigi. It's true, I've been streaming more recently. Back on Undertale Deltarune no-hit stuff. I've been inspired by others to get back into it. Oh, I'm cutting through too fast. Cannot afford mistakes like that one. It's like I start wanting it to go by faster, so I start doing things too early. When that is not how it works. It takes patience even then. I keep moving side. I don't know why I'm starting to move sideways into those. I hate having to worry about a new thing. Usually is a persistent issue until eventually it somehow isn't. When a new problem arises. Well, that was a weird movement again. I accidentally pressed up. Task jitter. Who are we kidding? Don't even ask me. I can't. It's like I gave up a second before I even got hit, pretty much. For no good reason. I noticed that inch moving was not the right call on that one. Most of the time it's not, but then sometimes it works out so well. I don't know if I truly understand what to situationally employ. If the session doesn't show promise, like any promise, after a little bit, I'm probably just gonna go to bed early. I would believe that's what I need if it continues this way. I will never blame the attack. It is 100,000 bajillion million % me right now. I could absolutely move better. I can feel myself not doing things the way they're supposed to be done, but I just cannot do it any other way. Maybe I need to, like, the secret hack, adjust my chair up like a quarter of an inch. Low key. The sword spiral. I don't know. I'm like, I just shouldn't be getting hit by it. The problem is I've never truly labbed it. I just trust myself to react to it and be able to tell what's going on, but I'm just not perceiving it the right way. Or like, I can't move automatically perfectly how I want to while perceiving it the right, like, with focus. Okay. Move less. Stay way more towards the middle. Don't get cheeky. If they're small... Okay, hold on. I don't need to verbalize everything. But I gained an understanding. Welcome, Igor. And isn't much. Yeah, I'm doing vanilla OST, making it most pure. It can be more officially recognized by Undertale Challenge community if I succeed with it, but I don't think I will do all attempts with the regular OST. And do I super duper care about... I don't know. I just felt like it, I don't know. The little potato. Okay, it truly begins now. Got an itch. Okay. Fuck. Fuck! I shouldn't have talked. I actually had it. Yeah, I'm starting to realize how long 20 minutes is. My consistency is going to have to get a lot better. I'm willing to do it. But goddamn, I probably need to practice and at least show proof of concept 50 times in a row, no hits of every heart attack. If I can't do that, then I'm like hoping too much to clutch it out in the run, which is just not what you should do. Okay. I was also like nervous very early. I haven't had a decent run in so long, and that was the first really good run in a while, or I would say in a long time. Out of nowhere, I felt like the debt had to, or the scales had to balance themselves out, because I'm like, there's no way I was this bad before, and like just thinking that I was getting farther. I was getting farther before. What's up, Dawn? Yeah, 40 minutes is a long ass time. And now I'm like sketched out on, yeah, I got another 20 minute. But I mean, like, the run doesn't start, go at 20 minutes really. I shouldn't even be feeling anything until I get to 20. But I was nervous from like 13 minutes. Just recollecting myself. Yeah, I'm like sketched out on Box Splitter or Soul Splitter, whatever. I used to be able to trust my inputs a lot, and now I'm like second guessing if I'll naturally press the button enough to just, I can't even use the words to explain. Like you can't just tap the button to get into the gap. You have to like small hold it a little bit longer than a tap, which requires control. And I'm not as, I would say not as good, but it's a short enough tap to where like you don't react to stopping moving. If you get what I mean. You're still having to imagine how much you want to move and then physically outputting that or inputting that. I'm just second guessing my instincts. Surprised I made it that far despite all of that. It's probably a good idea to go into practice. Soul Splitter and Stars 3. Nothing new. but maybe I should start I wish I had a counter set up, but that's more involved. I don't think there's a simple thing I could download and have working in 30 seconds to install in the OBS. Pretty sure I have to do a more involved thing to make like a counter hotkey. So I'm just going to do a timer and see how long I can no-hit individual attacks. Or the 2 problem attacks. And the music, maybe it was also the music too. The pressure was significantly worse. Having chill music really is a cheat code. Maybe I shouldn't allow it. Or let's not start from the middle of the song. I'm confident if this ever gets done, it's only getting done once. Take that as a challenge if you wanna. But I was like experiencing the reality of that moment, and like 20 minutes is such a long ass time, and the run's not even real until past 20 minutes, because basically you gotta do 20-minute no-hit twice in a row. What's up, Butterfly? I tried to pronounce with N, but my like mumbly pronunciation might have made it sound like a T. I had my headphones on so I couldn't tell. Okay. I gotta get serious about consistently practicing these attacks. I can't just pretend like just because I can get like 2 or approaching 20 minutes not even semi-regularly, but like just because I have the capability to get 20-minute runs doesn't mean I'm practiced enough. I've actually been streaming for like maybe a week straight. I don't know if it's been 7 days yet. I plan to keep it going. It's been at minimum like an hour stream, but or maybe even an hour and a half. I've just been, so there's a really cool night mod that is almost having its like peak final version, or like most polished and balanced, yeah, I'll just put it that way. The most like polished and balanced version is coming out in a few days, confirmed. I'm waiting for that official release to come out. Some people are practicing on the beta. I'm pretty sure I could if I asked, but I just want to wait for the full release. I'm not too concerned about being like the first in the world to do it or anything, or to no-hit it, but I'm kind of over-explaining that. Basically, I was inspired to start streaming again because there's some hype surrounding this night mod, and it's actually really, really good. And I was like early on the, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Basically, that's what got me back. And I also want to do this night challenge, which is like the ultimate hardest thing you could possibly do with it. And fair enough. Regardless of how I got into it, I want to do Deltarune challenges. I still like am in like slight denial that I didn't choose to get on the Silk Song wave. I know I said over the years, like, that was my most hyped for thing, and I was definitely going to invest a bunch of time into it. I just didn't have the energy in me, quite frankly, once it finally did come around. And it feels like a Celeste situation where I sort of talked myself into thinking it's too late. That's a simplified way of putting it. Like, it's not that I feel like it's too late, but if I were to, I would, bleh. There's no other way to put it. Like, if I wanted to be like a top competitor, which I would want to be, I have my work cut out for me, and I'd be way behind, and I can't go in with that mindset. So the thing that's probably got to change is that mindset. However, Deltarune, there's just the pressure isn't really attached in that way, and it's more freeing and fun, and so I'm just gonna keep with that. And I've been hyped about Deltarune for years. Chapter 5 is coming pretty soon, we could say, in the next several months. And then I'm going to be waiting with bated breath for the next chapter after every chapter release. And then once the full game is out, I will want to practice for a full game no-hit, and then practice for the ultimate no-hit run, or might even just practice, like, go straight in for practicing the ultimate no-hit run of the full game. Luckily, because it comes out episodically, it's not so bad to practice each. I mean, it's kind of like a Dark Souls. I mean, okay, I don't want to compare it to like the Dark Souls God runs. I don't even think no-hit Deltarune fully will be even quite comparable to the God no-hit runs that have been completed in the whatever we call those games series. But I'm saying it's like similar to where like each chapter comes out and you're just like chaining them together. Okay, I'm kind of done rambling on this. Let me actually play the game. Right, I'm in practice mode. I'm gonna practice stars, and I'm going to, yeah, reset the timer every time I get hit. But let's see how long of a no-hit streak I can go on. For the first time in such a long time, oh my goodness, I actually was able to go counterclockwise and not get hit. Whoops. Fair enough. Means it's just not... You're not so fiending for it, for a challenge in this way, which is totally fine. Also, you have time. It doesn't quite fully matter yet. Yikes. I don't know where the path was on that one, not gonna lie. I know there was one, my starting position was ass. I think I need to err on the side of not inch moving for the majority of the attack. I think it requires significant luck for that to work out comfortably. it's best to, and I remember in my early stages of labbing this attack, also I didn't restart the timer. Fuck the timer. I don't know if I care. No, I'll start the timer after this one. But in my early stages of practicing and labbing this attack, I would always like strictly start from the bottom left corner, even if it was super tight. But then I would scramble to move around the box, tracing as close to its full outline as possible, but like doing it as fast as I can. That was a lot of words. I don't know if I explained it quickly enough to have it be understandable. Basically, circling around the box wide and as constant of a motion as you can does seem to make it work out pretty nicely most of the time. It at least spreads out the bullets, but it doesn't prevent scenarios where a bullet from earlier in the pattern is going to end up directly in your path, so you have to see it coming. But if everything's more spread out, maybe it's like easier to see it coming. Okay, I'm like not even focused at all. So worst damage per turn is, yeah, so Chris, each of the each of the characters deal different damage. Susie does the most damage. Ralsei does, like, no matter what weapon they're using or like ability they're using. Susie always deals has like the most damage multiplier, I guess. Ralsei has the second most, and Chris is the worst. It changes if the other party members are down. Chris's attack goes up. Only Chris's, though, I think. Or maybe it's party-wide. But anyways, if all the party members are up, which in a no-hit run they will be, Chris has like the lowest damage multiplier. And I'm using Chris's weakest weapon, which is the starting weapon, the wood blade. And in an actual run, I am not just trying to go for a crit like that with the wood blade, which would net me 18 damage. I'm actually getting intentionally going for the first frame whiff to deal the least damage every time, which is 9 damage per turn. And I actually missed it right there. Had a stroke trying to read the timer. I don't know. I mean, like, any recommendations how I can get that whole concept across in shorter terms, unambiguously? I'm so open to suggestions. What am I? Okay. I'm actually pissed. I can't hit a 9 damage. Or I can't get a 9 damage hit when trying to. There we go. Focused. I can't deny it. That's what's been happening. Knight, stop spamming the same move. I gotta practice the stars 3. Okay, let me try to get better at constant moving around the box. Like, maybe my reading ability will just skyrocket with a little bit of conditioning in this particular way. I guess I could omit the fact that it's pre-patch and I'm not allowing myself to use the speed up, which is the hold breath ability. But also, it does add like a 1.5 times difficulty multiplier, I would say. Oh man, does it? I don't know. At most, but it definitely like adds a slight multiplier to the difficulty that I have those extra parameters. I feel like I would like to mention them, but you could just annul. That is what I thought at first. No one really asked. Playing with it? No, I only wanted to do the hardest thing within the, I don't know, like limits of the game, vanilla limits of the game. Yeah, on the video, like I think it's good to be that specific, but maybe in the stream, no act. True. Is there a way to shorten the worst damage per turn thing? I can't make it an acronym because no one would know what that means. Like DPT. Min damage. That's true. Well, I started thinking that that's like longest possible rolling night. Okay. I did think of this, but the reason I thought that isn't technically valid is because people could be like, well, what if you just didn't attack one more turn? What if you just chose not to attack a certain number of turns and then, like, okay, yes, I could make the fight like last infinitely theoretically if I wanted to, but in trying to damage the boss every single turn, I'm doing the minimum damage possible. Okay. I actually like that. I didn't think about specifying while attacking. But I mean, honestly, do I really need to add, like, now that I think about it, I didn't try to like argue against myself with that. Okay. Thank you, actually. How's this pre-patch? There was one patch that made, you know, the sword strike that happens after the sword tunnel, like the end of the sword tunnel attack? The hitboxes on those swords that that strike were like seemingly unfair to people. The hilt, I think it's like the hilt of the sword had a hitbox, and you could be not even touching the red outline and still get hit. Let me try to give an example. Oh, I tried to switch the attack. Oh, I don't think I was tabbed into the game. And then I also didn't change the title, my bad. Okay, it's one more over. Let me see if I can force an example here of me actually taking damage. Okay, not like that. Although in post-patch, that might not get me hit. They really overcooked with the nerf, I would say. Which is fine. Oh my gosh, I can't actually I can't actually do it wrong. I can't, like, look at a wrong place to stay. That was close. I have an edited data.win file with custom commands. Yeah, Igor made it a while back. There is, on both of my most recent night video, yeah, I can't. It is more lenient than I remember. I think it's because it's worse if you're near like certain corners, and maybe I'm subconsciously avoiding certain corners. Yeah, I actually can't do this wrong. Let me please show an example. Oh my god. Okay, someone might feel slightly BS'd. Even if I was one frame, or if I was, yeah, if I held right for one more frame, that might have still got hit. That wasn't really convincing of like, oh, that's BS. One more minute of this, I promise, that's it. I think towards the bottom of the soul is where it shines the worst. That was like not. Okay, there I just like barely poked myself with the sword as it was waiting to strike. Nah, I actually can't give an example. I'm sorry. For some reason, I mean, maybe it's a good thing. There are better clips. It's true. Let me try something. Is this a foolproof strat? If I can hug or nearly hug the left wall as low as I can, and then rush to climb over the top rightmost bullets, and then go down, does that just always work out nicely, no matter what? I'm sure if the bullets were bigger, maybe not. But do I even need to necessarily, like, go around the... I, like, went through the behind of a bullet, or the backside of a bullet, and that looked weird? Ooh. Okay, no, when the bullets are bigger, the stuff tends to, like, it actually can aim towards the bottom corner, and I need to be careful. Oh, I still forgot to change the title. Okay, after this attack. When the bullets are bigger, I can wait to move longer. There's so many like subtle things that are beneficial to do differently depending on the average size of the stars for the iteration of the attack. And those are the things that I have not divided and understood categorically. Okay, the title. I think Butterfly is right, and I don't need to worry about that technicality. Someone can argue that technicality with me in the chat or the comments. But I mean, someone who's like, actually, it's not the longest fight. I don't need to listen to that. I just don't. I guess I could do it like, how about this? No hit, longest possible RK fight, no act, V15. I think that... because that's just more understandable, or like... that gets the point across the closest to the widest audience. Specifying everything in exact detail makes the title too long, and those who don't even know aren't going to understand what it means. Aren't going to understand, like... yeah. Okay. Let me just edit the YouTube title. I mean, I guess I could do pre-patch. Or like say pre-patch. That's the only thing that's not understandable. Or you know what, I'll even say pre-nerf. Even though I don't fully subscribe to that phrasing, it's the least ambiguous. Because like, what's the point of, why do we care about pre-patch if it's not harder in any way? Okay. I've finalized my title. And I've barely practiced Stardust 3 anymore, but you know what, it's okay. I just need to be overall more conscious of the pacing. Wow. Wow. Like, I didn't realize what I could get away with in that top left corner. That is very... unexplored. Maybe I should think of it more like going from corner to corner and only moving like when I absolutely need to, instead of rushing past. That's how I run in the bullets without seeing them coming. But I need to, first and foremost, be very focused on the bullets as they are transforming. Because the last ones to change are usually the ones that I don't see coming, that catch me out. I often can stay on the left side for way longer than I would think, but it's not all the time. I would say I'm convinced that I forced myself to skill dodge way more than necessary on this. Or like, not skill dodge, but like react dodge. And that's just not so reliable. It's, I guess, nice to practice the skill overall, but not best for consistency. Okay. In order to never get caught out, I actually need to rush towards the right side. Like, I need to... Yeah. Oh, what's up, Tom? Has been a while. Thank you. If you happen to know, and I know it's not really like recorded anymore, but like how many people have estimatedly done Farewell Golden at this point, if we even know? Is it in the thousands? Oh, the list is still being kept up with. Really? Damn. I was mistaken. Whoops, wrong way. Quad digits with video? Oh. That's amazing that so many people have done it. Gotcha. Oh. If I was just slightly more patient, I would have actually seen that bullet. Maybe I should practice with less pathing structure in mind. Which goes against everything I was thinking before. However, if I just get better at seeing the bullets coming a mile away and going for conspicuous path of least resistance gaps, that's going to mitigate the awkwardness and tense moments where I would be most likely to choke. Yeah, I would mitigate that the most. The game being part of the backlog. Or this game. It is an unfinished game, so no rush. But I think this game is going to have a bigger impact than Undertale, but probably with an asterisk. I think whatever whatever its main point or points are will be much clearer and potent. And perhaps like applicable to one's life. There's just so many universal life themes in this game. Or at least analysis and lore discussions get me in that headspace. Which is a really cool game to think about. I think I'm willing to play with some structured ideas on this attack. But it really is the balance between rush moving and inch moving. Does seem more comprehensible when I rush, but rushing can lead you to trying to go through like a dummy tight portion at the start of the pattern. So situationally, you must have some patience and wait for space to clear up. I also need to be open to starting from different portions of the box, and yeah, if need be, going counterclockwise instead of forcing the clockwise pattern. I knew I needed to be to the left, and I just hesitated for so long. Oh, you played the end as 9? Heck yeah. I hope it was enjoyable. Or has been. If you haven't finished it. Or if you haven't, like, finished it to your satisfaction. What if I tried holding X? On the Switch? Oh. I mean, there's just input lag, but it's a deterministic platformer. Input lag isn't like a death sentence. Slow Soul isn't always recommended on this, but could it actually help me? You're going for 152? Ooh. Oh, I have to stop soon. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to do another run, but I'll practice Star Sweep for a little bit longer. Nice. How many tumors do you have, roughly? I'd say at least having like 100 or a couple hundred to get through the future with would be ideal. Almost. Oh, okay, then never mind. Yeah. Then you've got basically everything, and you have the best case scenario for getting through the future with. Nice. I can't remember all the levels off the top. I think I might know what that one is. It's like a tall falling, I wouldn't say platform, like there's hooks and you have to like go back and forth between, and it's just like really awkward to get the timing right. That might be English 13. But I'm guessing that, like, that's a big struggle point for people. Okay, no, it is that one. Yeah, that one is... You're pretty much forced to do it, I think, in a specific way, more or less. But it doesn't do the greatest job of forcing you to do it the way that you're forced to do it. Or, like, making it clear how. Okay. doubling back isn't the worst. Okay. I think circling around the box and moving very early once the bullets start changing is the best idea. It sort of automatically calibrates my eyes to see properly, or to see opportunities properly. Sometimes I have to like opportunistically slip through a gap that's about to close, or that is a kind of a tight one. Okay, I can't get too close to the walls, especially when I'm clearly blocked. Like that right there. Yeah, I just need to learn a little bit more of what I cannot do. Or of when I need to stray from the strict outlining of the box. Nah, I would never be disappointed in a death count. Especially if you're not used to playing platformers. And it is more of a precision platformer. I don't even know what's like an unreasonable death count, to be honest. I can't remember. Or it's not even really a case of remembering. I just haven't compared. I haven't watched many people play the game, if I'm honest with you. I've pretty much only watched myself play it, and some select few others who have like done challenge runs. As long as they're not super expensive mice. And yeah, if they don't care. Then is it really stealing? No, yeah, probably. I think the hard pill to swallow is that there are no rules to this attack fully. Like, yeah, theoretically there's a pacing and positioning you could do for each or for different iterations that would net a more lenient and comfortable experience. But you cannot apply those rules to all attacks. And am I truly able to identify the differences until after the fact with hindsight? Probably not so much. It really comes down to the in-the-moment decision making. yikes. But, like, absent-mindedly forcing the rule of going around the box just gets me to run in the bullet sometimes. Whereas I think I should be more hesitant to just, like, move without thought. I haven't played Mugenics. I hear it's quite fun for people who like games like that. I just don't think it's... Well, it's a different game genre than I've ever played. Could I enjoy it? Perhaps. I'm just not really interested. Yeah, you can spoil whatever. To me, I don't know if I, like, careful of anybody else. I don't know. I'm sure someone else might care. But... Oh, the end part of the game is based off the end of the night. Ooh. The connected Edmund universe. Okay, I can't focus or care about this anymore. Unfortunately, I do think I'm going to have to end. The mother is the final boss of it. Like from Isaac? Oh wait, no, the mother from the end is... I forgot about that. Interesting. You're welcome, Tom, and everybody else. Was not my best work again. I'm going to work on getting well rested right now. Have a good one. See you tomorrow, probably.